Hi everyone, Michelle from michellecourage.com here. Today I want to speak to you about the dragons, dragon frequency, how they work in my life. I recently went down to Wellington. I live in Hawke's Bay, New Zealand, and we lived in Wellington for quite a while. And I was asked to give a talk on the dragon frequencies, and I really want to share it with you guys because I kind of feel there's so much you can find out about how to work with dragons, how their frequencies work, a little bit about their origin, and how it's been working in my life, and what I do to help others as well as myself to call the dragon energies in. Okay, so I just want to chat a little bit about who I am. I'm Michele Courage, obviously based in Hawke's Bay, from Wellington, but before, obviously, with my accent, you can hear I was born in South Africa and immigrated to New Zealand about 15 years ago. And I'm here to offer people powerful clearing and activation into galactic energies. And I run galactic energy circles. I do encoded, light encoded paintings, activation sessions. I have run workshops, retreats, and I am at the moment really enjoying my journey around energetically infused products. So I'm doing an aura spray. I'll chat a little bit about the aura spray and aura sprays and as well. So and if you have any questions or answers, just pop them in the comments and I'll try and see if I can answer them. As usual, this will be on the podcast and the visual will be on YouTube if I get my technology right. So welcome. Okay, so I'm just going to be reading a little bit about some of the stuff because I do keep notes, because otherwise I just go off on a lovely tangent. So dragons were here at present. They were present here on Earth when Earth was formed, was born. The birth of Earth, put it this way. And the ancient civilizations that seeded Africa actually asked the dragons to come and help with putting a lot of the light encoded messages into the earth to be used as crystals that would come out later. These crystals would create portals to the stars. That is the sort of idea. And a lot of the stuff is all from Diana Cooper. I absolutely love Diana Cooper, and she has inspired me. She inspired me to start working with the dragons. I love her Dragon Oracle deck, and her book is fabulous as well. So dragons have been instrumental in forming the links between Earth, Sirius, Neptune, the Pleiades, and Orion. And dragons protect mountains. They also put the liquid light into the earth and into the mountains for Lemurian crystals to be found by us, which are now reappearing. I've got a beautiful, I thought I'd give you a show of my latest Lemurian crystal. Isn't it just incredible? Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see the striations in the crystal. You might be able to see that online. You see those lines? They get those total lines there. Those are memories of past lifetimes that are etched into these crystals. This is a super powerful one. I bought it and a friend of mine made it into a necklace for me. So I can carry her. I want to call it a her today. Interesting. Yeah, she's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful crystal. Lovely, powerful Lemurian energy. Lemurian energy is coming back quite super strongly. And obviously the dragons will be linked to that energy. Okay, at the end of Atlantis, the dragons were offered the chance to move into the fifth dimension and move up as a reward for all the work that they had done. And they opted to turn back and help Earth and us on Earth to actually So they came in very strongly after 2012. So we could access the frequency. And again, dragons are literally, it's a high frequency. It is something that you attune to. It's like a radio frequency. So it's not something, oh, it's a big, fat, scary dragon. It's not that. It's just humans need to call it something. So we called it dragons, and we've named them different dragons for different reasons, but it's actually an energy force that needs to be tuned into, and then you can recognize it and ask for help, because dragons can only do anything once we as humans ask them to. They are obliged to only do what we ask them to. So how did I connect into dragon energy? Well, as I mentioned, Diana Cooper launched her Dragon Oracle deck, and I just instantly knew that this was a tool rather than a card oracle deck. A lot of people use oracle decks, like put the cards out and whatever they say, but this for me was a learning tool to get to know each and every frequency of each and every dragon in that deck. And there's a lot of dragons. There's a lot. The dragon realm is massive. So I really set about learning the most for me, and tuning into the frequencies of the dragons that I felt I personally needed the most. And obviously this is a personal journey, so each different person would have a different journey with dragons, but the basics stay the same. So dragons are only called that because we as humans need to call them something to identify them. And we need to learn to recognize it. It's same as any other form. It's like learning to recognize the feeling and the energy of Jesus, of Kuan Yin, of Archangel Metatron. It's learning the frequency and understanding the feeling that it gives you. And wow, dragons are so powerful. They're amazing. So tuning into the dragons is like fine-tuning into a radio frequency. And I really, truly believe that once you are tuned and attuned into dragon energy, it's impossible to ignore. It's so powerful. It's such a powerful tool for us humans here on Earth. Our souls have decided to live a life here on Earth, and we really need some tools, galactic tools, to help for clearing. And the dragons are master clearers in helping us to clear. And I'll go a little bit into that. So I started firstly connecting in with the Earth Dragon. I felt that, the Earth Dragon and the Fire Dragon. The Earth Dragon for me was just the easiest one for me, because I just felt so akin to the Earth. I love Earth, and I want the best for Earth. And the Earth Dragon clears all ley lines. So the Earth Dragon is here to clear and cleanse rooms, areas, grounds, buildings, all types of stuff. And what they do is they go in underneath the buildings into the ground first, and then clear the ley lines so that the messages can get through easier, because we also dump a lot of stuff onto the earth. We use it as a grounding mechanism, and because we're walking on the earth, a lot of the energies are held and absorbed into the earth to help us. She does a lot of our dirty work, and the Earth Dragons are here to help clear that. So they clear buildings, grounds, so much. And I'm just reading here quickly. What I just don't want to break in here to forget anything. So yes. So again, working with galactic energy, it's very important to do grounding work. And this Earth Dragon helps you to ground so much. You can even ask it to go and sit above your head and pull you onto the ground, and like basically push you and keep you here, earthed into Earth. So it's a fabulous energy to work with. It really is. Because, we need to function on this planet. We can't, it's all very well being love and light, and we all, flying around in the air, and it's all wonderful, and, we can't function, and I can't work and whatever. But actually, the biggest work is being done is by grounded people who are grounded, who work through their stuff. And the Earth Dragon can help us tremendously with that type of work. The next dragon frequency that I connected into was that of the Fire Dragon. Now, the Fire Dragon, oh man, I tell you, the Fire Dragon is just the most incredible energy because it comes in and clears. So many of the other dragons do clearing as well, but I've just found that the Earth Dragon and the Fire Dragon are my go-tos. The Fire Dragon, it's depicted in Diana Cooper's deck as an artwork piece, but it is a flaming energy that comes in that basically dissolves and rehabilitates negative low vibe energies. So I often use it when I come into a room and there's a lot of negativity, a lot of people are sitting there and they're talking negatively. A lot of circles end up being kind of dump zones, like women's circles and stuff like that. A lot of people share their heavy stuff, and then asking the Fire Dragon to come in and just clear it, because what happens is people dump their negative energy, and the room holds it, or the area holds it, and then what happens the next time somebody comes in who's not that strong, that energy will just jump on you and kind of like hang around you, and you kind of like, sometimes you go into a building and you go, geez, like, I wonder why I feel so heavy, it's so negative, and that will be why. So using the dragon, the Fire Dragon, to come in, that energy to come in and clear the room completely and clear the property completely, or help to clear a person's energy, for certain that it's been taken away and rehabilitated. It's not just been sort of swept away. It's like, sweeping in front of your patio and then leaving the rest just lying there. It's a real good cleanup. It's like I always say, like, why would you use a feather duster when you can use a hoover? Use it properly. It's there to be absolutely used as a wonderful, wonderful tool. Okay, so when I was being introduced to the dragons and I was starting my journey with the dragons, I was also starting to open up into Pleiadian energy. This is my Pleiadian scarf. I've done some encoded artworks with portals, and this is one of the Pleiadian energy scarves. So the Pleiadians are a beautiful light energy, and that was so wonderful to work with. And then I got a bit more adventurous. Now, all the while I'm working with the dragon energies as well, bear in mind. The next minute, I was in one of these very beautiful, big circles where we were doing deep meditation, and I was asked, suddenly these beings' energies came in. I get spoken to a lot. Sometimes I get visuals. My messages are all over. I do channel work that as well, so automatic writing. Anyway, and I had this distinct question. We would like to work with you. We are the Arcturians. This is how they worded it. We are the Arcturians, and we'd like to work with you. And I went, yes, sure, that would be fabulous, amazing, come in. And I started kind of like working with Arcturian energy and starting to get to know how they work. And they showed me that they're like more medical. They're quite medical focused. They're very technology focused, very straightforward. I realized that there were some people around me that were exceptionally Arcturian based. Like a lot of people say, oh, I'm Pleiadian or I am Arcturian, but actually you're just pulling a part of your learning, and soul learning is pulling a huge aspect of that in this lifetime. And you will be recognizing that the Pleiadians are light bringers. They're light focused, beautiful energy, soft, loving, bright, uplifting, whereas the Arcturians are very straight, direct, And a lot of our IT people are Arcturians, because the Arcturians are always the shipbuilders. They build technology, they use technology, they're at the forefront of medical technology. And when I do healing, when I've got clients that come to me with specific ailments and want to shift energy or stuck energy, the Arcturians always come in and they show me this modern technology that they're using. And then I'll go and look up the words that they use, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is forefront technology, which hasn't been like mainstream yet. So yeah, it's fabulous to work with this. But this is what happened to me. Because I was so open and I was so happy to work with the dragons, and I was working with the dragon frequencies, all the while learning the different dragons as well, dragon frequencies, and then the Pleiadians and the Arcturians were coming in strongly. And at the same time, I decided I wanted to go to Bali, and I wanted to open up even more, go on a soul quest. And holy moly, I got to Bali, and it just got all a little bit much, as Bali does. Bali tends to, bring it all up to the surface. And so while I was in Bali, I actually asked the Arcturians to step back. And I was very kind of like, thank you so much, but can you just step back a little bit further? Because remember, as a soul, a lot of the energies don't know what it's like to live on Earth. So they come in full force, and I was so open. I was so happy to work with any galactic, energies, that I realized that I needed a bit more boundaries, and just needed to ask them to step back a bit, because I was just becoming a little bit too ungrounded. Very emotional. It was just a little bit, I was just a bit overwhelmed. But that being said, in Bali, I really worked in with the dragons. So what I was told while I was there is that when I went to the temples, I needed to ask the earth dragon to come in to clear underneath in the earth, because there was so much residual energy from lifetimes previous, and that the earth needed cleansing and clearing. And it was so amazing, because when I sat down one day at a temple, and I asked the earth dragons to come in, and it was like literally a whole bunch of them. It was like this army of earth dragons were going like this through the earth and making waves and frequencies to actually clear the ley lines of the earth. And they just carried on going. It was amazing to see that in my mind's eye. And then, so it was, I'm just having a quick look here. So yes, and so then I asked the fire dragon to come in while I was in Bali, and at the temples. I asked the fire dragon to, whatever had been dislodged by the earth dragons, I asked the fire dragons to come in and just clear all that residual energy that has been loosened. It's like the earth dragons come in and give it a big shake up. And while they do clear, the fire dragon is a master clearer. So I asked the fire dragon to come in and master clear, and really just cleanse everything. And every place that I went to, I just asked for that to happen. And I also went to quite a few places that were sort of off the beaten track, that weren't seen as temples, but my guides had explained to me, this is exactly where you need to go. You need to go around the back of this temple. At the back, there's a big portal hole there. That is where, you need to sit there, and you need to do the work that we're asking you to do. So it was really lovely. It was a lovely time to spend just in the dragons. And, with the Arcturians, 6 months later, I asked them to come. I was in a meditation again, and they asked again. They said, we are the Arcturians. We're pleased to meet you. Can we please work with you again? And I went, sure. I was ready by then. On a side note, in Bali, there were, at that time when I was so overwhelmed, I tried basically I needed some self-soothing and self-comforting. I felt extremely alone in the world with the work that I was doing. I felt unsupported, and not unsupported from a human point of view. I just felt like I needed something galactic to support me through this, because I needed comforting. I've always been a very lone sort of loner, and I do everything intuitively, and so I needed a little bit of reassurance. And I asked the Dragon Realm, who is it? Which dragon can I ask for that? Oh my goodness! And this beautiful dragon came in, and it basically just held me in its kind of body. It basically said, it showed me that I could basically sink into its body and it would just hold me. And the body itself is basically just the energy. So every time I feel a little bit rough around the edges, I would ask this beautiful, comforting dragon. And it's almost like a benevolent parent energy that comes in and just holds me and supports me and basically strokes me and says, you're going to be okay, as a benevolent parent would do. You know, when you're a kid and you fall or you're upset, and your mother holds you, or your parent would, or, you know, caregiver or whatever, you know, would basically hold you and support you and comfort you. It's that energy that I called in, and oh my goodness, it was amazing. It felt so good. So that's why I say the dragon realm is a very powerful realm. It's worked so beautifully for me. So yes, it was incredibly soothing and very comforting for me. So because I've worked intuitively, I like to learn each dragon and bring in their energy and learn to work with them on a really personal basis. And that's why I wanted to learn about the different dragon energies. And there are many different energies, you know, because I've worked intuitively and connected with different ones as I've needed them. And like the sunshine yellow dragon, for instance, is the one for animals and for people dealing with animals. One night, I'll give you an example. I had worked with this dragon before. I'd learned to tune into this energy. And one night I had my little older little Australian Terrier little dog. She was really very upset. There was something wrong with her. There was something going on physically, and it was really, she was so uncomfortable. And I was in bed, and she used to sleep next to me, and she would come to bed and then get up and walk out and come back, and she just could not settle. She was so agitated, clearly in pain. It was a Sunday night. There was no way I could get to a vet at that time. It was already late. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow morning. I'm going to have to take her to the vet the next morning. And but I wanted to soothe her and just calm her down and know that, you know, because she'd been starting to have fits and stuff. And I knew that her time was quite close, where she would pass over. And it's amazing. I called the sunshine yellow dragon and I said, please just comfort her or show me what to do with this beautiful little dog that's not having a good time. And it's unbelievable. Within 2 minutes, Cora settled. She just basically went into her basket, she curled up, and she just slept right through the night. Unbelievable. And I was just like, well, there you have it. It was so visible for me. It was unbelievable, so incredible. So working with the sunshine yellow dragon, it's just a name. It's a beautiful energy to work with animals, and I use it a lot because we live rural. I do use sunshine yellow dragon a lot when I see animals that are maybe outside in the cold weather, and particularly horses who, you know, the owners probably haven't put blankets on, or maybe the horses are standing outside and it's really hot and they shouldn't have blankets on. If there's a big truck with a lot of animals going to the slaughterhouse, or just being moved or anything like that, I will send the yellow dragon with them, because what happens then, I know that emotional energy that I'm feeling gets taken care of by galactic energy. I have called the dragon in to do the work for me, which I can't chase after every animal, every truck. It's very upsetting. You know, you can see animals often when you're driving along, and you can see that animals aren't looking that well. They're a bit thin, or they're miserable, or that you can just see they're not being taken care of. And so you send the sunshine yellow dragon in, and I remember there was a truck that rolled near us, one of these big animal trucks that carry lots of animals. And I heard the truck turn over and flip, and I decided I wasn't going to go, because I actually dealt with something before, in a week before, and I thought, you know what, this is not what I want to do right now. And I sat in the vortex of the property that I've created. I've created a healing vortex, and I literally sent the sunshine yellow dragon energy there. And afterwards, I read there was like 7-8 farmers were there helping. They'd all come to the area, and that's exactly what the sunshine yellow dragon energy will do. They'll bring in people everywhere to help the animals. And yeah, so many of the animals had to be put down, and they were put down humanely and quickly. There was a vet that was passing by that dropped in, you know, and helped. So yeah, it's a beautiful energy to work with. Okay, so the next part I want to speak to you about was when we first moved to this property in rural Hawke's Bay. I used the dragons to clear and cleanse the property. And even before that, when we first moved to Hawke's Bay, actually before we even moved to Hawke's Bay, we used to come to this property and do fly fishing. So we loved fly fishing, and this property's right on the river. It's got a cottage, and we rent the cottage out. But the owners at the time, you know, we got to know them really well, and we used to come often. And I remember one day sitting on the banks of the river, and actually before that, and they basically said to me, you need to do a heavy clearing on this river. It's the Tuki River. It's a big river in New Zealand, one of the main rivers that run through Hawke's Bay, and you need to do clearing on it, and you need to do it from source all the way to where it goes into the sea. And so, yes, I sat and did work like that. I worked on that probably for a good hour and a half, working first with the earth dragon underneath the riverbeds, clearing the ley lines and along the sides of the river. I used the water dragon, I used the air dragon, I used the fire dragon. And it was really interesting because I couldn't understand why it was specific to this river, but I think it was in preparation for us moving here as well. It was also, obviously it's going to do good all along, but it was also in preparation for us to move into this area, and then obviously move into this house. So yeah, so that was a real wonderful thing to work on the river and help Mother Earth as well. Okay, so one of the most recent times, which has been really fascinating, working with the dragon energy, was there was a gang leader in New Zealand. He was the head of the whole of the mongrel mob in New Zealand. Actually lived right in our little town. And he was really getting ill. He was ill for quite a long time. And we heard that he was basically on his last days. And so this drug kingpin passed on the Thursday. And ironically, I was actually in town at that time, and I was walking, and I went back and looked at the time, and it was like super close. So it was really weird. I was walking back to the car after having coffee with a girlfriend, and I literally tripped over nothing and fell flat on my face. My knee took the brunt of everything, but I literally, it was like something kicked me off my feet, and I fell flat on the earth. Quite shaken up, got up, my jeans were ripped. I was bleeding quite badly on my knee, whatever, like quite shaken. I mean, you know, I'm 6 foot and I'm like, you know, I'm not a small woman. So trust me, I came down hard. Anyway, so this was on the Thursday, and he apparently died on the Thursday. And he died around midday, and that was when I was walking back to my car. So it was really interesting. And I had been invited to a ladies' day. I think it was the Tuesday, because was it the, no, it was the Thursday before, and then he was going to have the funeral in the next 3 or 4 days. Or a week later, I think it was a week later, they organized the funeral. And it was really interesting. I kind of knew about the funeral. I knew what was happening. We all knew that there was going to be a huge gang presence in the area, and hoping that obviously nothing was going to go like, you know, wacky or whatever. And I know New Zealand police had been stepped up presence, and, you know, they were expecting a little bit of, you know, uncomfortableness, whatever. And I'd also at the same time been invited to a ladies' lunch to someone that I didn't know, and I didn't even know where they lived. Anyway, got the address, decided, well, I didn't really feel like going, but I thought, well, you know what, actually, I'm going to go. I've been invited, and I've got a strong feeling that I need to be there. I don't know why, and I do listen to myself when I get told you're going, then I go. So anyway, and so I arrived at the house, and the house was right on a hill, and this house had a big view of the whole, quite a big, good view of like Hawke's Bay area. And as I arrived, one of my friends turned around and said, "Oh, you know what? 1 o'clock today is the funeral of Sonny Smith." And he's obviously mongrel mob Maori leader. And I was like, oh, okay, yes, I presume it would be today. And they turned around and they said, well, they're gonna go past this house. So I said, what? Oh, okay. Still not thinking anything of why I was there. Anyway, so at about 5 to 1 that afternoon, after we'd been having lunch and everything, this friend of mine yells at me, and she says, come look, come quickly, come look. So of course I go out the door, walk out, and suddenly my guides all come in and they go, this is the reason why you're here. So what it was is we were on a hill, and we had a vantage point of about 5 kilometers of a funeral procession before it went into the marae. Now, marae is where people lie in state. It's kind of a Maori church type of house. It's spelled M-A-R-A-R-E. Yeah, so forgive my pronunciation. Anyway, so as I was standing there, my guide said to me, right, now we want you to call the dragons in. So I called the dragons in, and they said, doesn't matter, just call the dragon realm in, because this is a big, big opportunity for an upgrade. So what they wanted me to do was to clear the road, because as the funeral procession was going to be coming through, all the cars had to stop. And there would be a long line, and they were expecting over 6,000 people to come and visit and have a look and attend this funeral. And so it was a perfect opportunity to help souls to upgrade. And so what they showed me that the dragons were creating this cleansing area, and then literally they showed me this big golden arch where everybody had to drive through. And it was so ironic because obviously everybody had to stop and wait for quite a while before they were let in and checking and all that kind of stuff. And they were sitting in this golden archway. So they showed me this golden archway, and they said that will be in place for 4 days while all these different people come through, because they obviously couldn't do it all at once. And I think the way they coordinated it was different parts of New Zealand were allowed to visit on different days. And so this energy that was asked to come in was basically a choice energy of a soul that came through there, was cleansed. And I could see all this new coding coming in, all this new codes that were coming in for the opportunities for these souls that were either trapped in this lifetime into this mob type feeling, especially for the youngsters that were in the cars, to do the right thing, and a peaceful energy. It was just amazing. It was definitely sort of like an opportunity for a soul to upgrade into a higher frequency. And then while I was doing this work, I was really concentrating on seeing and watching what they were showing me so I could relay it back to this friend. And there was only 2 or 3 ladies, maybe 3 ladies at the lunch that were actually understanding what I was doing. And it was so interesting because this friend of mine, she said, look at the sky, Michele, look at the sky. And I kid you not, there was this massive dragon. Now, when we look into the sky and we see UFOs, we see dragons, we see angels, anything like that, it's because it's left a residual. Apparently the high frequency causes condensation. And what happens is when they leave, the condensation sits and gathers in the shape of where they were. And if you go and have a look on my Instagram page, again, Michele Courage on Instagram, you will see, I think it's Michele Courage, Raise Your Vibe on Instagram. You will see this picture that this friend of mine took, which was unbelievable, like this massive dragon flying right over this big vista of sky. You can't dream this stuff up, honestly. Everybody who was there actually noticed this big cloud that was in the shape of a dragon. And my guide said to me that that was going to basically, that whole golden arch transformative energy was going to be coming down and hanging over there for at least 4 days while this whole procession was going to go through. So that was profound for me, because it was once again me just acting on what I knew I had to do. And the fact that I was there at that specific day on that time, you know, I would have been sitting here at home, but I had listened when they said, you've got to go to this. So, it's a real interesting way of kind of working with energy when you intuitively push to do stuff. I'm just looking at here if there's anything. Yeah, so basically when you see a dragon shape or angel, etc., condensation gathers around the different frequency, and hence you see it, and you see it as a cloud. So I thought that was really fascinating. So if you look for the effects of dragons and dragon energy, they'll be there. They are there all the time. So I now use dragon energies for most of my healing sessions, mainly for clearing. I use them for house clearing as well. And I use them when I'm passing animals who look like they need help. I often get asked to clear buildings. Always when I go through past graveyards, I get asked to send the dragons in, because remember, they can't do anything unless I ask them, as we as humans can ask them to do. So it's fascinating for me. They've been my ally when I feel helpless, when I'm watching things around the world and everything's not working in the highest light. I know I can send the dragons in to help clear and do work there. So wherever you think there's dragon energy needed, you can send them in. And they've been so comforting and healing and specific in my life that I'm so convinced of their immense power that I'm not afraid of anything that can get attached to me, because I know that if I call the dragons in and I specifically say, I really need help here, they will help me and they will clear the energy and they will send an army to protect me. And guide me out of the danger as long as I hear my intuition and I act on it. It's not to say that I don't work with other energies. I work with archangels, energies, and there's often guides that come in. There's energies like Kuan Yin that'll come in specifically, or but the dragon energy for me. Remember, archangels are connected to dragon energies, so each archangel will have a dragon, because remember the archangels are at such a high frequency, it is easier for them to ask the dragons. The dragons were specifically designed to slip into the different frequencies, so they can come into the lower frequencies easily, rather than archangels, which obviously, if you're a 12th dimensional archangel, it's very hard to come down to 3D and now try and do some work here. So they will have their helpers, and the dragon energies are they're serious master clearers, helpers, that type of stuff. So let me have a look here and see. So together with the new unicorn energies, which are starting to come in onto Earth now, which is an amazing thing to be able to, our frequency has risen enough that we can now start really working with a unicorn energy. And I have been working with a unicorn energy, my own personal unicorn energy, for about 2-3 months now. And it's a beautiful energy. It's so stunning. It's such a pure, soft, loving, very powerful energy. White light, high vibrational light. So we just need to open ourselves to these frequencies, and so we can, number one, share the messages and know that is right and it's working, and number two, help people who are struggling near us. And you can do the earth work as well. You can help. Number three is helping the earth to be cleansed and clears, and storing of the stored residual energies that's been hanging around. So yeah, I thought I would just speak to you today about it. I've created a galactic dragon spray, aura spray, because what I do with my products, what I create is I believe that every product, when we create this product, we create it in a vibrational energy, and it will carry the sentiments of what you created it in. So when I create these dragon sprays, the galactic dragon sprays, I've got Lemurian sprays, I've got divine feminine sprays as well, love and light as well, and a Pleiadian spray. But at present, the galactic dragon spray is basically, when you spray that, you are summoning the dragon kingdom, the dragon realm, in to come and help you clear and shift. Remember, the earth dragon comes in and shifts obstacles for you. It's even more powerful than Ganesh energy. So, if you've got obstacles in your way and you're not sure of your path, use the earth dragon to come and help you and clear that path for you. Look up earth dragons, Diana Cooper. Do yourself a favor, learn some more. And yeah, if you want to get in touch with me, I can put you in the right direction. I have got some videos that I have made around the dragon energies, and tuning into the dragons with meditations. But yeah, it's just an amazing energy. So really, if you get the opportunity to work with dragon energy, I really would suggest that you do. It's amazing, amazing energy. So I'll sign off now. My name is Michele Courage, And if you've been listening on the podcast, thank you so much. I'd really appreciate a like and a share. And if you've been watching this on YouTube and stuck it out till the end, thank you so much for sitting and watching. And I will chat to you soon in the next video.